Welcome to Jose Channel, your go-to place for all things intriguing and mysterious. Ever found yourself pondering why vampires would choose to sip on blood rather than a hot cup of joe? A question that leaves many puzzled. Imagine a nocturnal creature preferring the taste of blood over coffee. Strange, isn't it? But look closer. This isn't about personal preference, it's about survival. It leads to an intriguing understanding of these myths and their choices. So, ready to dive eccentricity? Prepare to dive into the depths of this peculiar choice. If you're finding this exploration into the intriguing world of vampires as fascinating as we do, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're thirsting for more content like this, be sure to subscribe to Jose Channel. We delve into all sorts of fascinating mysteries, from the supernatural to the scientific. So, go ahead and tap that notification bell so you won't miss out on our next video. Now let's sink our teeth into the dark and captivating world of vampire mythology. Vampires, creatures of the night, immortal beings with a thirst for blood. But why blood? Well, let's delve into the dark and mysterious world of vampire mythos to find out. Vampires have been a staple of popular culture and literature for centuries. These nocturnal beings are often portrayed as charismatic yet dangerous figures, possessing supernatural powers and an insatiable thirst for human blood. But this wasn't always the case. The vampire myth has its roots in ancient folklore, where they were depicted as far more monstrous creatures. From the revenants of medieval Europe to the vampire-like entities in the mythology of ancient Greece and Rome, these creatures were believed to sustain their undead existence by consuming the life essence of the living, often symbolized by the drinking of blood. Over time, the vampire figure has evolved, becoming more sophisticated and alluring, but the blood-drinking habit has remained a constant feature. This is likely due to the symbolic value of blood in many cultures. Blood is often associated with life force and vitality, making it a fitting sustenance for creatures that defy death. In the 19th century, literature began to shape our modern understanding of vampires. With Bram Stoker's Dracula, the vampire became a figure of aristocratic charm with a chilling need for human blood. The novel cemented the image of the vampire as an immortal being that feeds on the blood of the living to maintain its eternal youth and vitality. This image has been perpetuated in modern vampire lore, from Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles to the Twilight Saga. The emphasis on blood drinking serves both to heighten their supernatural allure and to underscore their predatory nature. But is there any truth to this bloody habit? Could there be a scientific reason why these creatures of the night prefer a diet of blood over, say, a nice cup of coffee? Well, prepare to sink your teeth into some fascinating facts as we explore the science behind the vampire's bloodthirst. So, hold on tight as we take a journey into the scientific explanation behind this bloodthirst. Hematophagy, or the act of consuming blood, is not unique to the mythical vampire. In fact, in the animal kingdom there are several creatures that practice hematophagy as a means of survival. Take the vampire bat, for instance. This real-life night prowler feeds solely on the blood of other animals, using its sharp teeth to make a small incision and lapping up the blood with its tongue. Another example is the mosquito. While only the female of the species feeds on blood, it's a crucial part of her reproductive cycle. The protein and iron found in blood are used to produce eggs. But what makes blood such an appealing meal? Well, blood is a rich source of nutrients. It's packed with proteins and lipids, and it contains essential minerals like iron and zinc. It's also high in vitamins, particularly B12, a key nutrient for nerve function and the creation of red blood cells. So, from a nutritional standpoint, blood can be seen as a kind of superfood. But not all creatures are equipped to digest blood. Our vampire bat, for instance, has a specialized digestive system that's evolved to process this unique diet. Its kidneys are even adapted to expel the high amount of liquid that comes with a blood meal, allowing it to feed without becoming waterlogged. Similarly, the vampire of folklore would need a specialized physiology to survive on blood alone. It's not simply a matter of having the right teeth to pierce a victim's neck. They would need the right enzymes to break down the blood, the right gut bacteria to help digest it, and the right organs to deal with the waste. Yet despite these challenges, the myth of the blood-drinking vampire persists. Perhaps it's the allure of immortality, or the thrill of the hunt, or maybe it's simply the macabre fascination with the consumption of a substance so intimately connected with life and death. So, blood serves as a nutritious meal for vampires, but why not coffee? Coffee, a favorite beverage for many, but not for vampires. Ever wonder why? With its rich aroma and invigorating taste, coffee is a staple for many of us. The secret behind its stimulating properties? Caffeine. In humans, caffeine works as a stimulant, blocking the receptors for adenosine, a neurotransmitter that makes us feel tired. This blockage leads to increased neuron firing, which our pituitary gland interprets as an emergency, and in response, it releases adrenaline. The result? A boost of energy and alertness. But what happens when a creature of the night indulges in this human energy booster? It's a different story for vampires. Given their nocturnal lifestyle, vampires rely on stealth and quick reflexes. The jittery effects of caffeine could be detrimental, making them clumsy and alerting potential victims to their presence. Not exactly the best recipe for a successful hunt, right? Moreover, caffeine increases heart rate in humans. Now, one might wonder, do vampires even have a beating heart? According to popular lore, no. However, if we entertain the thought that they do, an increased heart rate would mean a faster blood flow. For a vampire, that could mean an accelerated rate of digestion of their blood meal. That's like having your dinner vanish before you've even had a chance to enjoy it. And let's not forget the diuretic effects of caffeine. Imagine a vampire having to interrupt their nightly activities for frequent bathroom breaks. Not very practical, is it? Now let's talk about nutrition. Coffee, while having its benefits, is not a significant source of nutrition. Vampires, on the other hand, need sustenance to survive. And what better source of nutrition for a vampire than blood? It's rich in proteins, lipids, and sugars, all essential for maintaining energy levels and supporting bodily functions. So, blood provides nutrition and coffee hinders a vampire's lifestyle, but is there more to it? Imagine the taste of blood, iron-rich and warm, versus the bitter taste of coffee. Picture this for a moment. Humans, with our limited sensory capabilities, often find the taste of blood metallic and salty. For us, it can be off-putting. But for vampires, creatures of the night with heightened senses, the experience is altogether different. Blood is not just a meal for them, it's a symphony of flavors, a rich tapestry of taste and sensation that we humans simply cannot comprehend. Every drop is a cocktail of life, carrying the essence of the individual from which it was drawn. It's a sensory experience beyond our wildest imaginings. Now, consider coffee. To us, it's a comforting beverage, brimming with complex flavors that wake up our senses. We relish its bitterness, its acidity, the subtle notes of chocolate, nuts, or fruit. We enjoy the warmth that spreads through our bodies with each sip, the gentle buzz of caffeine that sharpens our minds. But to a vampire, coffee is likely a pale imitation of the sensory feast that blood provides. Imagine their heightened sense of taste, capable of detecting the subtlest nuances in flavor. While we might enjoy the complexity of coffee, to a vampire it might seem bland and uninteresting in comparison to the rich, multifaceted taste of blood. Furthermore, consider the temperature. Blood, warm and vital, mirrors the living body from which it is drawn. It's a stark contrast to coffee, which can be served hot, iced, or anything in between. The warmth of blood might offer a tactile pleasure that coffee simply cannot match, providing a sense of connection with the living that a vampire might find comforting, even nostalgic. So, it seems the preference for blood over coffee is not just about nutrition and lifestyle, but also about the sensory experience. For vampires, the act of drinking blood is not merely about sustenance, it's about savoring the intricate dance of flavors, the warmth, the very essence of life itself. It's an experience that coffee, despite its many charms, simply cannot replicate. So, why do vampires prefer blood over coffee? Let's revisit the chilling truths we've unearthed. The vampire's existence, shrouded in mystery and darkness, is deeply entwined with the ingestion of blood, a bizarre yet essential part of their survival. Blood, packed with nutrients, is their lifeline, a potent elixir that sustains their eternal life and fuels their supernatural abilities. On the other hand, we have coffee, the beloved beverage of the human world. But for our nocturnal friends, the caffeine kick is a double-edged sword. The stimulating effects that we relish are a detriment to their lifestyle, disrupting their sleep cycles and increasing their heart rates. Not exactly ideal for beings of the night. Lastly, the sensory experience. Blood for vampires is not just a meal, it's an experience. The taste, the texture, the warmth. It's a sensory symphony that coffee, despite its rich aroma and diverse flavor profiles, just can't replicate. So there you have it. The preference for blood over coffee is not just a matter of taste, but a complex interplay of survival, lifestyle compatibility, and sensory gratification. Next time you enjoy your morning coffee, remember our nocturnal friends who prefer a different kind of brew.